How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about some Linux stuff because I was recently inspired by Mutahar, Some Ordinary Gamers, in the video that he put out very recently, talking about how Windows isn't all that great anymore and how easy it is to switch over to Linux and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, it really is that easy, right? Like, I was able to do it, and if some dingus like me can switch over to Linux and use it just fine, you know, any of you could. But I feel like that there is a deeper conversation that I should have, at least on this channel. I've been getting some requests to tackle some deeper Linux information. Like, my dad has been pestering me to make videos on Proxmox backup servers and proper data storage and data archival stuff and all that fun stuff. And yeah, that is an interesting topic, and he's built an entire Dell Optiplex Proxmox cluster downstairs. And if you know what any of that means, good for you. If you don't worry about it. But it led me down a train of thought where I'm thinking to myself, okay, I make these videos for a very specific audience. People who are interested in Linux but haven't actually made the switch yet. Or people who already are into Linux and maybe they can get some entertainment out of me just sort of squirming around and struggling with what they consider to be basic Linux stuff. But that little comment right there actually does bring up a valuable point. There are people out there who know how to use Linux and chastise people for not understanding or not already knowing everything that they know about Linux. And yeah, that's a whole meme, you know, the whole I use Arch by the way, RTFM, Richard Stallman, that kind of person, like just the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Linux stereotypes, right? But these people do exist. So I figured I should come out in this video and talk about the reasons why I make these Linux videos. You know, what topics I choose, why I choose them, why I decide to tackle things the way I do, things like that. Just so that everyone out there has a better understanding of like my thought processes on this kind of thing. And maybe we can all learn something from having this kind of a conversation. Let's just like think about what a community actually is. At its basic concept, it's just a group of people who share some common ideal. It could be people who enjoy Linux because of the free and open source nature of it. It could be people who use emulators and want to back up and preserve these games so that they're not lost to history. It could be Windows users just hating Linux users. It could be any number of things. But the bigger and bigger a community grows, the more necessary it is to have what's called an outer ring. That's the main topic I want to talk about in this video, the concept of an outer ring in the Linux community. The concept of an outer ring is really easy to understand. It's just like an event or a space or whatever sort of metaphorical or physical space that would allow potential new users to come in and try it out and try out the community, talk to some people within it, and just see if this community is the right fit for them. And that does exist in the Linux community, but it's not exactly a widespread concept to a lot of people. A lot of people unfortunately see the Linux community as very insular, very sort of echo chambery, you know, where it's like, oh, we all know how to use the command line and we all like hate on Windows or do whatever, and we're just sort of vitriolic and toxic towards anyone who doesn't immediately agree with all of our ideals or instantly know everything that we know. I say we, you know, I would consider myself to be on the outer rings of the Linux community because even though I know what's going on, I'm not exactly in the know, you know? What a great way to phrase that. So I think it's genuinely the right thing to do to sort of make this idea of the Linux outer ring be more widespread. And those places already exist within the community. You've got noob-friendly Reddit threads, you've got noob-friendly forums, you've got distros like Linux Mint or Ubuntu that are pretty much tailored for the new user experience. You've got all kinds of things, but that's not exactly something that people know about Linux, you know? It all kind of circles back to that sort of initial image that the Linux community has unfortunately branded itself with. Now, some of these perceptions are genuinely not fair, and some of them are just in good fun, you know, like the whole, like this meme right here where it's like Linux users installing a web browser. Like, this is a funny meme. I do think this is really funny, but the unfortunate thing about it is that some people think that this is the truth, you know? And that's where I hope to come in. My goal with this channel and the videos that I'm making are to try to make Linux more approachable and understandable to the regular Windows user. Because Windows is going in a dangerous direction. You know, starting next year, they're going to force everyone to have to use a front-facing webcam, and I'm not really a fan of that concept. I'm not a fan of how Windows is free now, but you have all these sort of telemetry applications and little bits and bobs that are just trying to siphon as much data off of you as possible. It's the common old saying, you either pay for the product or you are the product. 'Cause let's be honest, to Microsoft, our data is way more valuable than our money. Because our data can, like, really get them some money. So it's within their best interest to essentially spy on us. And I may not have anything to hide, but that doesn't mean I have to be okay with it. You know, I've started taking some really basic security measures on my system. You know, I started encrypting my drives when I install a new Linux distro. I've started, you know, strengthening my passwords. And I do need to use a password manager, but just, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I really need to do that soon. I've been using VPNs when I go on sketchy websites. You know, just basic security things that make my experience on the internet and in this ever increasingly complex digital age we find ourselves in, it's nice to have. It's nice to have these little security comforts. And you kind of don't have that when you're on Windows, at least not anymore. I mean, yeah, you can make it work, but at the end of the day, Microsoft still has that backdoor in your system, and they can stick their dirty fingers in any bit of data they want to on your system. And that's not cool. At least I don't think that's cool. And that's just one aspect of why I don't want to use Windows ever again. There's a few others I could go into, but this section of the video has already gone on for long enough, so, you know. The point I'm trying to get to is that all of us as Linux users need to try to do a better job of welcoming new users into the community. And a lot of you guys who watch this channel are really friendly and really chill and really helpful. When I mess up on a video and I get things wrong, you guys just correct me in the comments and you're not assholes about it. So I thank you for that. But I have gotten a few toxic comments in the past. Not a lot. I thought I would get more, but you know, I feel like that just is gonna be the case for any community on the internet that gets large enough. It's gonna have some toxic people in it, but you know. But you know, that doesn't excuse the fact that this community can be a little bit prickly at times. So I try to be welcoming and I try to explain things in really basic idiot terms that someone like me could understand. And I try to make my videos entertaining and fun, because that's one of the big problems that I've noticed with Linux videos as of late, is that they're really just like not entertaining, you know? Like, they're very informative. The people who make Linux videos regularly are very informative, and they've got all the knowledge you could ever need to make a Linux system work, and they've got the best tutorials, and they know what they're talking about, and they know what they're doing. But god damn it, their voices are just so, like, boring, essentially. And so, like, my main effort with my videos is that I'm not trying to be super informative, I'm trying to be entertaining first and foremost, and try to sneak in a little bit of information there. I had someone recently compare me to another YouTuber that I'm a big fan of called Explosions and Fire, and he's actually a good analogy for what I want this channel to be. I want to be able to know what I'm talking about and explain things in the best way that I can, but I also want to make it funny, you know? Because that just makes it so much easier to learn something if what you're learning from is funny. I would know absolutely nothing about peroxides and explosive compounds and like chemistry if I didn't watch Explosions and Fire. And I watched him because he was funny, not because I wanted to learn how to build fucking nitrogen trichloride, you know? Build? Like, create. Whatever. Now, I'm not trying to say that I'm going to be the be-all, end-all Linux creator, because I don't know everything, and I'm never gonna know everything about this fucking cursed hobby. And so that's where the more informative creators come in. I just hope to be the gateway. I want to be the type of creator that people can come to and say, hey, look at this funny video talking about some stupid computer shit. And then it's like, oh, wait, you don't have to use Windows anymore? Like, there are other options out there that aren't fucking Macintosh? Yes, there are, and those other options have existed for quite a while now, but, you know, only within the past couple of years has it really progressed and really became a good user-friendly experience, at least with certain distros. And that actually does play into another topic that I wanted to briefly mention, is that there are some people who think that Linux is being dumbed down and that we're losing what makes Linux Linux. And my response to that is, hey, no one's forcing you to use Linux Mint. You know, if you want to install Arch from the command line, if you want to compile Gentoo, if you want to do the toppest tier Linux bullshit just to suffer through it, by all means, be my guest, do it. I can't control what you do, right? You're gonna do that. And that's the beauty, I feel, in Linux, is that you have this foundation that you can build whatever kind of experience you want with it. Take my system, for example. I'm using Fedora Linux with KDE Plasma, and I've spent hours trying to properly, the term in Linux is called ricing. I've been ricing my system, which is a stupid term, but whatever, I don't come up with this shit. So I've spent a lot of time making my system exactly like I want it, and you can't really do that on Windows. On Windows, it's just how it's set up, and you can't really change a whole lot with it. I mean, sure, you can change some colors here and there, but unless you really know what you're doing, you can't, like, change the desktop and how it looks and how it functions. But on Linux, it's pretty easy to change your desktop and change exactly how it works and how it feels, and like big sweeping changes like going from KDE Plasma to fucking GNOME, or you can make little minute changes like adding little dials in your taskbar. You can see them kind of right here, I'm pointing at them. You can add little dials and little readouts for your temperatures and your usage for your CPU and your GPU. I like having this just sort of sitting right here at all times, just kind of always letting me know what's going on with my system. You know, just little metrics here that I can keep an eye on when I'm playing games. That might exist on Windows, it might not. I don't know. I haven't used Windows in like a year at this point, and I have no intention of going back. And my point with this is, like, that's why I'm not doing Linux distro reviews, you know? Because the conclusion that I came to in my Fedora review was that pretty much any distro is just Linux, and you can shape it and mold it exactly how you want it. You're just choosing like how it comes to you prepackaged, you know? Again, that's the beauty of it, but it also seems a bit scary to some. So I hope to try to make that a little bit less scary with my videos. Anyway, this video has been kind of long and rambly, and I don't really have a script. I'm just sort of vomiting my feelings out after I watched Muda's latest video. I just got struck with this inspiration of, I really wanted to break down exactly why I make the videos the way I do. And I have started recently in some of my other Linux videos. If I get things wrong, I'm gonna pin a comment down below that will have corrections and all this stuff that I might have missed, so be on the lookout for that in any future Linux video. And let me know what you think about my approach to Linux videos, because I'm coming to realize more and more is that the things that I make them with the intention of other people to interact with them. That's why I like being a DM in Dungeons & Dragons. That's why I was so enamored with building my own video games, because I wanted to know what people think, and I wanted to know how they interact with the things that I create. Right? Dungeons & Dragons has been the most, like, direct method of getting that feeling, but it is very nice to have people respond to me in the comments, and it actually really, really helps me in how I shape my videos, because I do want to make the videos that I want to make, but I also want to make videos that people want to watch, you know? So it's kind of this thing where if, like, I don't exactly know what people want, so I overthink it and overcomplicate it and make it harder on myself for no reason. Like, I think to myself, oh, nobody really, like, responded to this video that I made, so might as well put some more effort and make things that people do want to respond to, which is mostly just the things that I enjoy watching, which are very complicated, very overly edited videos. So, kind of the only basis I have to go off of. Which is why I've been doing a whole lot of polls in my community tab as of late, just to see what you guys want to see, because it helps me decide what I want to make and help me know what you guys want to watch. You know? Basic data. Anyway, at the end of this video, I do want to thank my patrons who support me and give me money and all that fun stuff. If you would like to become a patron, you can follow the link either down in the description or at the end of this video, and you gain access to a bunch of fancy perks, like being able to watch videos a whole day early, special behind-the-scenes videos, like in the future, after my little, not vacation, after I'm done house sitting for my mom, I'm gonna come back and I'm going to do a video describing how I've riced my Linux system, and that is gonna be an exclusive video only available on the Patreon. So if you want to gain access to that video, you know, you have to join in with that. Thank you again to the patrons. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and let me know how you think. Let me know how you think, just in general. I don't know, fucking whatever. Brain being stupid. I hope you have a good day.